You all remember the last time we talked, we were talking about coordination and subordination. And you remember that we had some issues with that, kind of putting things together. And I told you you had all the tools that you needed in order to do that. So what I wanted to do with you today was to try something a little bit different to see if we can kind of clarify some of that. Because what I noticed on the quiz was that you were using punctuation, it just was winding up in the wrong place. So we're going to try something just a little bit different. And I am going to have you, I'm going to pair you up. Only this time, I'm going to pair you up differently from the way you were paired before. Usually I just have you turn around and talk to somebody, but we're going to do something just a little bit different here. If I can get down to where I need to be. Okay. Let's go to, let me give this to you first of all. Do you guys remember those tools that you needed to combine the sentences? You all remember that at all? What were those things I said you needed to combine sentences? You remember? What are those friends of yours that we forget? They got another name. Fanboys. And what else do you get a chance? What else can you use? Subordinating conjunction. Okay. And the reason you're doing this is so you can take your sentences and combine them together so they make a little bit more sense and you have a little bit of clarity about what's being said. Now what I gave you on that last quiz, I gave you some sentences to try to put together. And some of them were out of context. This time you're going to look at a paragraph. And this paragraph has sentences in it that are just real choppy. If you had to read this, it would sound like this person didn't know what they were talking about. And they're just sentences all by themselves. They don't really connect to anything. What you're going to do is you're going to move into, I'm going to pair you up. We have enough people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we got enough. And I'm going to switch you up. And what you're going to do is you and your partner are going to read this paragraph and you're going to decide how to combine the sentences and where to combine them. Okay? We did this before, it's just a little bit different. So you've got fanboys, you know you can use them. And you've got the subordinating conjunctions, and you know you can use those. What I'm going to be looking for in this assignment is for you to use the word and the punctuation in the correct way. Okay? But it's going to be between you and the other person to kind of figure out what that is. So you and your partner are going to discuss what the sentences should look like. Okay? So I'm going to pair you up a little bit differently. BJ and Kelsey. I'm going to mess y'all up. Mary and Chelsea. Is it Chelsea? Mary and Chelsea. Kay and Darian. And you're out here by yourself? Leave you out here by yourself? I'm going to put you 3 together. Okay? So you got to move, BJ. I'll move you out your spot. Come up here just a little bit closer. You're with, well, who did I put you? Kelsey. I put you with Kelsey. So you're over here, so you got to switch. And come over here with Kay. Y'all messed me up. That's not what I did. Y'all switched on me. Darian, you got to come over this way. You're with Kelsey. You're here with Kay, and then I want you over here with in this group. There's going to be 3 of you guys together. Okay? You must leave your phone. Come on this way. Huh? Yes, you have to leave your phone. Okay. You got to turn around and look at each other. See, work through this. Okay, I'm going to read through the paragraph first, and then I want you to try to put the things together. Okay? So, it says, our planet is composed of 4 different layers. These layers have varying physical and chemical properties. The outer layer is called the crust. It averages about 50 miles in thickness. It consists of about a dozen large, irregularly shaped sections. These sections are called tectonic plates. The plates slide over one another, they slide under one another, they slide past one another. These sliding events take place on top of a second layer of the earth called mantle. Now these sentences can be combined. If you'll notice, it took 3 sentences to say something you probably could have said in one line. So what you and your partner are going to do is, based on what you know about fanboys and the subordinating conjunctions, you guys are going to combine the sentences so that it makes a little bit more sense, so it's not quite so choppy. So you guys talk about it and decide which one you're going to go with, okay? And on the bottom of the paper where the lines are, you're going to rewrite the paragraph. Don't just stick them together. I want you to rewrite the whole sentence, okay? Which ones you think are going to be the best ones? And you can use your textbook. That's why I wanted you to pull it out. You can look at page 466. That was what we used the last time. So use some of that as a reference. You can't subordinate all of them. That's too easy. You can't have a whole paragraph of fanboys. No. You got to try something else. Try something different. And then when we get done, we're going to go over and see what you came up with. Huh? No, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about whiteout. Just draw a line through it and keep going. You got plenty of space. Just draw a line. What? Yes. You finished?
Okay, okay. So on this part, we got the plates slide over one another and they slide under one another. But then, like this part, we don't know how to combine it because we don't want to just leave this part off of it.
Well, can you add it in there?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the plates slide over one another, under one another, and past. It sounds like all this should be like towards in it.
So what part would you leave in and what would you take out?
I was trying to figure out a way to put it all together.
The plate slide.
Well, you got this part, but do you need to say everything over and over again?
Or we could say the plates slide over one another. We Can we take like the they slide like that part off, or we have to use all the words?
You don't have to use every word, every single solitary word out of here, but would you say it like that?
No.
How would you say it?
Place not over one another and under one another.
Well, what you gonna do with this one? You left that one hanging out there on the side.
I was gonna try to put it all.
But are they all talking about the same kind? These all three look the same. How would you put them together? How'd you put them together? And do you have to use everything? Y'all finished? You're done? Keep struggling. Huh? You can't breathe? You got a sinus issue?
Bad.
Today?
No, I've been having it since last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys almost at the end? Almost, not quite? You said what? Some Mucinex? You be out for the rest of the night.
Why you yelling at me?
I'm just saying that's what I said.
You ready? You ready? You ready? You guys ready? Not quite? Okay. I'll give you about 2 more minutes. Hold on there, Rihanna. Hold on. Huh? I can tell. It's all in his face. It's like all right here. So you gotta dip out, grab some tissue, it'll be all right. Let me see if I can put this up here. You said what? Well, how you know I'm gonna do it like that? Oh, well, I might flip it on you today. Might be a little different. We're gonna see if everybody agrees. No, I think I had you all revise it, and I graded it, and that was it. That was a process one? Yeah, that was that one. Did you? Well, you know, I can take it back. You can give it to me. Yeah, Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at the paragraph, okay? You were to take what you know about coordination and subordination. You would try to join some of these sentences together. Some of it's a little wordy in places. So, let's hear what you all did in each group. Did you guys do anything with the first 2 sentences? What did you do? What did you guys do?
Okay, we put a subordinate conjunction in it, like, but our flag is composed of 4 different layers. However, the layers have very visible
Properties. Okay, so how did that however get in there? How'd you put that however in there? A semicolon and a comma. And that's because however is a And it has 3 parts to it: the semicolon, the word, and then the comma. So that worked. Did anybody do something different? You did the same thing? You guys did the same thing? Oh, we're on the same page. It's working out. Okay. Next one, the outer layer is called the crust. Did you do any combining between these two? What did you guys do?
I use the fanboy.
You used the fanboy. Well, where'd you put it?
After caress.
Well, read it the way you put it in there.
The outer layer is called the crust, comma, and it averages about 50 miles in thickness.
Okay, did you all do the same thing? Okay. Now, let me share this with you. You used it correctly, okay? But if you're just taking this part and putting it with, as it disappears on me, with this part, you could just use the word "and" in the middle. You could just use the word "and" in the middle. The rule is the comma goes with it, but if you're going 1 and 2, then you don't have to use it.
So just take away the comma.
I'd take out the comma. I wouldn't tell you, ooh, you're wrong, but you probably don't need it. What about the next two? Did you combine the next two, or did you mix that up with something else? BJ, what you doing back there? Yeah, you. You're next, over here. Your group, this one here. It averages about 50 miles in thickness, and you came over here for all this. I don't know, you tell me, because it's got to make sense. You had to fix this paragraph so it made sense. Did you combine the next 2 sentences, or did you do 3? You did the next 2? BJ, did your group do the next 2? Okay, what did you put? Where you put your "so"? After where? Here?
Could we put the outer layer is called the crust
You didn't put anything there? Okay. You got to come up here and show me what you did. Because if you got 2 or 3 of these sentences together, I need you to show me. You're telling me "so," but I don't know where the "so" goes. Shouldn't have been looking at me. Okay, come over here. Okay. Write it on there. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Oh, yeah, and then, lowercase d's.
Mm-hmm. And was that it for you all? Okay, so they said it consists of about a dozen large, irregularly shaped sections. So these sections are called tectonic plates. What y'all think? That makes sense to you? Would you say that? Would you say that?
We got also
Semicolon also. It consists of about a dozen large, irregularly shaped sections. Semicolon also, comma. These sections are called tectonic plates. Huh? You can say "so," but does "so" make sense? Does it make sense to you when you say it that way? Would you say, would you see, could you see this written like this? It consists of about a dozen large, irregularly shaped sections. So these sections are called tectonic plates. You could say and.
Somebody.
What if I flipped it? If I took those two sentences and flipped them? And
It consists
would it be it or would you change it? What's this? Plates is plural, so that means it would be it's or they consist of about a dozen. Okay, you have some options. Okay, this one you all had some challenges with. The plates slide over one another, they slide under one another, they slide past one another. What'd y'all do? Huh, what'd you do?
Oh, I'm confused.
You used however?
Yeah.
Say the sentence the way you guys wrote it. Okay, does everybody agree with that? You could make it shorter. What would you do? Because some of those words you have in there, you don't have to have.
Plate side over.
That's a lot of stuff.
Under and past one another.
Say it again.
Plate slide over, under, and past one another.
So the plates slide over. Get rid of this.
Comma.
Under. And past one another. So all three of these together, that's a whole lot of talking to just say something that you could just say three things in one sentence. Okay, and that's where your coordinating conjunction comes in. So this is a whole lot. Let's just keep it simple, especially since they're all doing the same thing. They're sliding. They all have that in common. They're going past one another. Well, let's just say what they do. They slide over, they slide under, they slide past. What about the last one? What'd you do with the last one? Did you just leave that one by itself? These sliding events take place on top of a second layer of the earth called mantle. That sounded okay to you? That worked? Straight? Okay. Let me show you what the answer was. Well, not the answer, but one of the possibilities. Here's the other possibility. So let me get rid of what we put up here. I think I can. I don't remember how to do this. That's not going to work. Oh, let me do something else. Let's see if this works. I'll go back to the whiteboard and get rid of it. And then we'll come back to it. Well, maybe that won't work either. We're going to look at it anyway. Okay. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Yes. There we go. Clean. Okay. Now look at what you guys wrote and then look at this. What you put is not wrong. This is a different way. Our planet is composed of 4 different layers that have varying physical and chemical properties. Okay? The outer layer, which is called the crust, averages about 50 miles in thickness, comma, and it consists of about a dozen large, irregularly shaped sections. These sections, comma, referred to as tectonic plates, slide, and you all got this one, over, under, and past one another on top of a second layer known as the mantle that lies beneath the crust. Now, is that too much to you? Does that look like that's an awful lot? Using the commas and the coordinating conjunctions and things in here, sounds great, but sometimes it's better if you can write a sentence without cutting it up with all those commas. You get a better flow. So if you look at the first one, some of you put the coordinating conjunction in the first one, but if you didn't, you just have one solid sentence that's flowing. so I understand what it's saying without having to feel like I've got to stop or do anything else in it. So the point of you putting them together is to have sentences that flow. Sometimes you have to put the coordinating conjunctions and commas and other things in there because you're trying to connect the ideas. The way that sentence was, the way that paragraph was before, look how many sentences you have. There are about 9 or 10 of them in that one little paragraph. But if you connect some of them, you get something that flows a little bit better. And you're actually able to understand exactly what it's talking about. Does that make sense to everybody? Did you have any trouble combining some of the sentences? Which were the one or two? I know you had trouble with this one down here, but did you have trouble with one of the other ones? Trying to connect them together based on what's on there. How many of you took words out? You left them all in there? How many of you added some? Nobody added any? Okay. Well, what I want you to do is, in your essays, when you get them back from me, and I say the sentences aren't connected, or you need to try coordination, or I write fanboys on the side, there are probably 2 sentences that you meant to be connected together, but you either didn't connect them, or you're hoping that as the reader, I'll figure that out. And I'm not going to do that, because you know I told you I'm lazy. I'm not going to figure out what it is you're putting in your writing. You have to actually tell me. This is why punctuation is important in what you write, because it tells your reader when to stop, when the thought is finished, and it also tells them if there's more to it. And so you have to look at it from that way. So does anybody have any questions about this? That's so wonderful, because guess what? I'm sending some home with you to try it again. Yes. Only this one's a little bit lengthier. So what I want you to do is make sure your name is on this one and turn it into me, and I'm going to switch you. And you're going to do the same thing. Huh? You want to take your medicine? You want me to let you go so you go take it? Don't fall out, man. Just hang on. Just hang on just a little longer. Just a little longer. Did you get one? Okay, let me have your sheets. You do get credit for this. Yes, you do. Is your name on it? Are you doing it now? You can get started on it. But let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. One of the most important things you guys are going to have to do when you do this assignment is read it first. Don't just jump in and start trying to put stuff together, because some stuff won't make sense if you try to join it. So here we go. Not all college students are used to studying. Some high schools are not academically demanding. Others are. Some students enter college with a strong work ethic. Other students do not. Work ethic refers to a student's willingness to work hard. Passing college classes requires a work ethic. The work ethic should be strong. For example, learning a foreign language requires daily work. Some students have never studied on an everyday basis. This requirement will be a change for those students. The same requirement is true of other courses. Math requires daily study. Some fast-paced courses require daily study. Students will need a strong work ethic. It will be required of them each week. It may be required each day. Doesn't that sound boring?
They repeat the same thing.
Does that sound boring? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take this paragraph, you're going to do some combining of some of the sentences so that it makes sense, just like we did a few minutes ago. You may take some words out, but don't change the meaning of what's there if you can do that, okay? You might be able to include it in the sentence. Where we talked about those plates and slide and under and over, there may be something in here that you're able to combine the same way. Now you can talk about this with your partner if you want to, but this is one you're going to take and do and then turn in. I don't know if you're going to have time to finish it before we leave today, because this paragraph is just a little bit longer. You got about 20 minutes or so. I think you can do that. But if you want to talk with the person you worked with before, you can go ahead. But the answer on the paper has to be yours.